Good afternoon, friends. It's Orange Friday, November 20th. Time for a reflection. I have finished my woodworking project. 3 bookcases and 3 cabinets are built, finished, and installed. I have to tweak a door and add another shelf, but those can wait for a little bit. I'm excited about the look of the project and the feel that these items add to the room where they were placed. And it's not a minute too soon. So I spent part of last weekend and part of Monday cleaning up my garage shop because I have 2 new assignments. A bookcase for my granddaughter Kennedy and a corner bench for Joan's getaway. There truly is no rest for my wicked soul, I guess. So looking at a weekend with little to do, a day off on Monday without golf, and then no meetings because it's Thanksgiving week, I decided I would come to the office early this morning so that I could take a long lunch and drive to a lumber yard that I use in Sacramento. As I headed east on I-80 at around 12:30, I began to think of lunch. Nothing was striking my fancy, certainly not fast foods. Then I realized there's a nugget market on the east end of Davis, and they have wonderful New England clam chowder. That would be a great lunch. Soup, a small salad, and a lemon bar. Yes, that's the ticket. I started to get that foodie high thinking of this meal as I drove closer to Nirvana. Putting on my mask and entering the main door, I headed to the back of the store for the hot soup counter. That's when it hit me. The famous pots were not going to be out. There is no self-service thanks to coronavirus. Blast this COVID thing. But then I spied a warmer off to the side with the words hot soup on top. My hopes revived. And I got there and I looked, there were soup containers. Yes, there was pumpkin soup, Italian wedding soup, chicken and something soup. I realized that my dream was being shattered. No clam chowder. I wanted to shout, "Liberate my chowder!" Heartbroken, I turned away thinking I would just skip lunch and get an early dinner. Nothing mattered to me. My taste buds were saying, nothing will taste good, just leave. I took about 2 steps and then I turned around. And I asked the deli worker behind the counter working on the pizzas, "Do you have any clam chowder left today?" "Just a minute, let me look," was her pleasant response. I watched as she walked back to the behind the counter area. She opened a door for what looks like a big warmer, and he opened that my hopes are rising. Yes, soup. And then she shut the door, taking nothing out. My hopes fell. Then she walked through a door to the back room and didn't come right back out. My hopes rose again. A few minutes later, she came out empty-handed. She started a conversation with a coworker. I imagined her asking about the clam chowder, but since both of them were wearing masks, I could not read lips. Then she disappeared again. With some hope, I walked over to the bakery area and I grabbed a container with a lemon bar. At least that would hold me over. I turned to see her carrying a plastic container. My hopes were rising again until I realized that's for cold soup. Vichyssoise clam chowder? Ooh, it didn't sound appealing to me. She told me this is what we have, and it would take, but there was some being warmed up, but it would take another 30 minutes before it was ready. "Do I have other shopping to do?" she asked. "No, I came here just for lunch." And she said, "I'm sorry that I can't get the soup that you wanted." And as if she were reading my mind, she then said, "And no, by the way, we can't put some in the microwave and heat it up. It just doesn't work." or taste good. Dang, I just want to liberate my chowder. Then I thought, and I told her that I would take that soup home and I'd have it for dinner. As I was paying, I asked the cashier if the store manager was around. She said yes and would get him. After she paged him, she looked at me and seemed a little pained. You know, still wearing a mask, all you can see is the eyes, and they're kind of questioning what's going on, what am I worried about? I told her it was nothing bad. I just wanted to compliment, I wanted the manager to know and compliment one of the deli workers for having done more than I thought she needed to have done. As I explained to the manager what had happened with my soup issue, he asked who the employee was, and I said, I'm sorry, I didn't catch a name, sorry. But as far as I can tell, she's the only one back in the deli counter that has a smile mask on. He knew immediately who she was because he kind of smirked and then headed off in that direction, I assume, to share with her the compliment that I had offered her. I've been thinking about my smile masked deli counter person all afternoon. Well, not all, but on and off. Thinking of how she ministered to me. She could have easily have said, the only soup that we have today is what's out there, and gone back to her job with the pizzas. But no, she stopped what she was doing and searched high and low for my clam chowder. I wondered how the interaction with the manager went when she heard that I was appreciative of her willingness to go out of her way to satisfy my food needs. Was this something she was known for? Had she often been complimented? Or did most folks just think, it's her job, she should have? I think of the power of our words and how we interact. I think of the power of ministry and how it happens. Simple things like looking high and low for clam chowder for a guy in an orange shirt and a brown jacket because he looks like he wants some. Finding things. I was disappointed that my desire for clam chowder was not fulfilled right then. I could have been curt with her, with my smiled masked server, but I hope that's not the way I normally behave. She could have been short with me as well, but she would have been courteous because it's her job to be courteous. And she could have just simply said, sorry, and not done anything more, but she didn't. I suspect that she goes the extra mile most times, all the time perhaps. I really want to think that. Words are powerful. As I was complimenting her, the cashier and the guy helping her both smiled and nodded. I assume in appreciation that one of their own was being recognized for something extra. Words are powerful. They can also cause hurt and pain. I pray that we use our words to build up rather than to tear down. Words. Simple words like, thank you for helping. They build up and support others. Words are powerful. I look forward to seeing you on Sunday. Well, at least seeing your smiling faces here at church, and I'm still working on looking up at the camera so that I can see you. Until then, please, 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 not just your words, but also your actions. Wear your masks, please. Smiley masks, frowny masks, whatever they are, wear them, please. Protect others and yourself. Wash your hands a couple times a day, 3, 4, 5 times, 20 seconds each time, at least, and then use hand lotion because they get dried out, don't they? If you're sick, stay home. If you're sick, stay away from others, please. Let's stop the spread. If you need to, make sure you social distance from others. With your family, I still keep saying, get as close as you can, hug, and take care of one another. And always, 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 please remember that Sergeant Esterhaus dismisses us for our daily rounds up until 10 o'clock from now on with those words: be careful out there.